quick shout out to our sponsors, Anglesey Family Chiropractic. He is in Coeur d'Alene and Spokane Valley. Dr. Anglesey is amazing. I've known him for 30 plus years. He helped me to get feeling great after not seeing a chiropractor ever in my life. He was the first one I saw, and I am feeling great because of him. Go check him out. Anglesey Family Chiropractic. Tigatu Clothing Company. It's a lifestyle brand based out here in the Pacific Northwest, owned and operated by two brothers. I love this brand because they started in their garage as a hobby and they've blown this thing up. Look, their motto is freedom from ordinary. I definitely recommend you go check out Tigatu Clothing Company. Rewebbed Inc. It's a family and veteran-owned full-service digital agency. I've been working with these guys for a while, and there's a few things that I can tell you about them. They're very trustworthy, they're transparent, and they're honest. They're on this mission to help small businesses grow and get modern without losing the value that actually built those businesses. They're definitely worth your time. Go check them out, rewebbed.com.
You're a husband, a father, coach, entrepreneur, tons more. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I appreciate it.
Oh, I love it, Eric. Thanks for asking me.
I'd like to start my show back at the beginning. Where'd you grow up? What was childhood like for you?
I grew up I was born in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And my folks moved out west when I was a baby. So I grew up in Spokane, Washington.
Nice.
And childhood things. I'm one of 6 kids. I'm the oldest of 6, and I have 5 sisters. It's kind of a unique phenomena. And then, I grew up in the Northwest. Did my undergrad in Montana. Love that state. Moved to Seattle I worked overseas in an orphanage for a bit. Lived in Seattle. Did my graduate school in Colorado, but probably about 7 years ago, my wife and I moved from Colorado back up to Coeur d'Alene to raise our family here. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, like you mentioned, you've completed a BA, you've completed an HCA program there at Notre Dame, you have an an MA with an emphasis on meditation and mindfulness. You're also a licensed therapist and counselor. It's a long time to be in school. Was that always the plan that you had in mind?
No, man. I got my undergrad, and then I first started in a doctor of naturopathic medical school in Seattle, and I did 2 years of that program, and I loved it. Their naturopathic doctors are licensed in about, I think it's 16 states now to practice as a primary care provider.
Okay.
But I got clear that my heart was really in psychotherapy counseling more than anything. So I left that program. Then I got a 3-year master's in counseling psychology was the degree in Colorado. And
Gotcha.
The school I went to had an emphasis on kind of an East meets West approach to counseling. So I really was attracted to, they had a big, strong emphasis on meditation, mindfulness, and witnessing the mind. And I was really curious about what impact those sorts of tools or perspectives would lend. Yeah. So, and then I got my license in Colorado. So I'm not licensed as a therapist here in Idaho, but it takes about 2,000 hours to get licensed there after you graduate. And then I ran a private practice for about 6 years there. And kind of the short version of how it ended up to where I am now, we decided to move back to Coeur d'Alene to raise our family, prayed about it, and it just felt like the right thing to do. And so I closed my counseling practice, and I'm a franchise owner of 2 local magazines.
Yeah.
So, and I love those. I'm running those here in Coeur d'Alene, and in that company, N2 Publishing, we had an opportunity. I was asked to be on our leadership team. So, because of my counseling and background, so I did like 5 years of coaching internally in our company.
Gotcha.
And then stepped down, or I decided not to apply for a leadership opportunity, and instead open my own local. Well, now I'm doing remote coaching too with clients because of the COVID thing. But
right.
So I pull on my therapy background, but I'm not. I'm mainly doing life business coaching. Is the
Gotcha.
real. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Now you mentioned you are coaching people remote and in person. Obviously, it's COVID throwing a little things in there, but you coach people on personal business relationships. What can folks expect to experience when they go through your coaching program?
That's a great question. That is a great question. So, I mean, when people work with any coach, they're taking a leap of faith that it's going to be worth the investment. And they have to trust this person they don't maybe know very well. So in terms of what can they expect to experience I would answer that in two parts. Like, so much of the power of coaching is in the listener.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you could with an ordinary reason, like an honest, you want someone of goodwill, someone of integrity. So if you just pick just a coach with some, they're not perfect. None of us are perfect. We all have our flaws, but pick someone of goodwill. And if you go into that coaching experience with serious commitment and you take a stand that on the other end of this, I'm going to create this or break through this or up level this or heal this, that's the power, man. So every coach, if they're honest, knows that. So, yeah, I mean, I guess people who work, most clients work with me on a longer term commitment over the course of a year, 13 months.
Yeah.
I do have I'll do 20-hour packages. Even now I'm wrapping up. Well, I'm not wrapping up, but I'm halfway through. And that client's already talking about just rolling into another 20. So it's hard to answer because people seek out coaching for all different intentions. And
yeah,
I mean, the broad answer would be, the hope would be coaching will diminish suffering or help you remove your inner impediments to expressing what's most dear to you in your life. And you will observe the fruit of the work over time.
Yep.
And that's how you know if you're with the right coach. After a few months, you're going to recognize internal growth and you'll be making actions in your life and you'll be able to link those decisions to the process. But yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, how I show up is very much dictated on who I'm with,
Yeah.
It's,
yeah.
you know how it is, like if you're mentoring like a young man, your manner of being and what you say, what comes out of you will be very different than if you were, mentoring someone who's older than you and you'd say your faith community and they're coming to you, Eric, for counsel.
Right.
Just the way you show up and contextualize things is totally different. So
yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, last year you gave away a full year of coaching, which most people don't do. That's quite a bit of money that you could have earned had you charged that person.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do that?
Well, two reasons. One, I have how would I put this? Like, it's a mixed reason of it's altruistic and pragmatic from a marketing standpoint. So
sure.
The altruistic side is I aspire to live my life like this way and trusting this. And, sometimes I really trust it. Other times I'm not, but, I aspire to be the kind of person that, like, if I just focus on giving, contributing, the future's handled.
Yeah.
And I just know that, like, it's just handled. And if you're a faith-filled person, the mystery of in God's providence, or however you contextualize the how of it, I just know that if I just focus on pouring forth and giving, the future's handled. And then I also knew, from a savvy marketing standpoint, that would draw attention. Like, hey, this guy's asking for, and I love that client. It is awesome. We've actually shot some videos and I decided it was kind of pre-COVID. We're going to swing around. We probably do it at year's end.
Okay.
But so he's weekly. It's serious commitment. He drives like an hour and a half to see me weekly. He owns the construction company, and it is, I can't own the fruits of, it's his work. Like I said, he's the listener and brings it, but dude, it's bearing fruit all over the place in his life. Like, yeah. And so I love seeing them, and I show up just the same as my paying clients. Like, it doesn't, so I just trust it'll, so it was out of, like, I thought it was a good, like, if I'm going to launch a business, I'm going to launch with true giving.
Yeah. No
gimmicky, because I treat him as exquisitely as any client. And, but I also knew it would grab attention in the marketplace. Like, oh, wow, who's this guy? And he's doing that. So it was both.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. On top of doing everything, you kind of mentioned this earlier, you are the owner of two local magazines, BeLocal and CDA Real Producers. For those who don't know what those are, what are those magazines about?
Well, the Coeur d'Alene Real Producers, that brand franchise, we're in probably like 120 cities. And what we do in markets, so our company, we only print magazines if they, niche print media is actually growing considerably. So with digital exploding, we do have digital components to both platforms, but we only print something if it reaches a hard to reach demographic if the content is uber relevant to the demographic and it's valuable to businesses. So the Real Producers one, it it reaches the top 300 to 500 of real estate agents in metro areas across America. Okay. And what it does is it connects those top real estate agents with one another. It's like a whole community in real estate. They know one another. They're in competition with one another. They're friends with one another. And so it really elevates and connects them socially. And it's an incredible vehicle. There's tons of businesses that one busy real estate agent can make or break a lender. Like if you talk to any lender, they usually will have 3 or 4 busy real estate agents, and that's their whole book of business. That's it. That's where most of it comes from. Wow. So there's home inspectors, builders, like realtors are probably one of the most top realtors or one of the most influential people in a city, because their clients are always like, hey, where do I get my hair cut? Who do you recommend for, they just do. Their whole business is based on relationship and trust and being Mr. or Mrs. Value Adder. Yeah. And so we've created a vehicle to connect them where they love to build relationships and get to know one another. And then our business partners benefit from building relationships with these people. So then our BeLocal one, the company, that one, it's a really innovative way to reach one of the most valuable demographics for any local business is the new mover, new resident demographic, because right. They need new dentists. They don't have word of mouth relationships in the market. They're eager to understand, and it takes like 5 years to figure out where's the best place to go fishing. You know what I mean? Like, where do you right. all the insider knowledge. So we try to curate that insider perspective of what do locals do on 4th of July? They don't go downtown Coeur d'Alene. They go elsewhere. So you know what I mean? So like, what's the local way of life? And then and the way that group's been traditionally marketed to is like door hangers or promotional kind of coupon stuff, junk mailing. So we put this curated, beautiful platform together where a new resident gets here and they love it. They keep that magazine for like a year and they engage our platform. And that just helps like local businesses that, and we know which businesses are kind of a fit because we're a franchise. We could see nationally like, wow, landscapers do well in this or dentists do well in this, but a dentist would never partner with us with the real estate one. You know what I mean? It's just, sure. It's a niche concept basically. Yeah. So it's awesome. Fun. It's a fun way to meet tons of great people in the community, so.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of morning routines. Helps me kind of get my day going right. What's your morning routine look like?
Great question. Lately, I'm operating from a 90-day commitment. So I've been musing about writing a book for a long time.
Okay.
So I'm in the middle. I created a little Facebook group for this. There's like a handful of people following me along on this, but I created a commitment to where from 5 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. I'm working on a book. So I just blocked that time. And typically prior to that, I like to get in my office about 5. So I could describe that routine a bit, but my general routine is I have a remodeled office above our garage. I leave our house, come up here. I'll read some scripture, different kind of contemplative spiritual readings, and then I just kind of pray and be quiet. And then I'll grab a journal and I'll just sort of open myself and try to discern, God's will for me for the day, or I listen and I'll scratch thoughts that come to me down. And I always like to start at that quiet level. Then I like to, after that, prior to this book thing, I would go, usually by 6:30, I go walk the dog. And then I come into our house at about 7. And then, I have 3 boys, 6 and under, so it's crazy and loud. And then I do the dad thing. And then I try to get in my office by, 8:30 or whatever, but 8:30. So but right now that I still read scripture and do my reflection. But the last 60 of the 90 minutes, I'm writing or working on a book.
Okay.
And then I work out. So I like to walk in the morning. Right before dinner, I do like a quick kind of high intensity fitness workout. It's where I fit that part in terms of a habit,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, obviously with COVID, it's kind of put a halt to a lot of events and projects and things in the area, but what projects are you working on and what's the plan for the rest of the year? Obviously you're working on this book, but is there anything else you got coming up?
Professionally, I've been nibbling on Facebook about interest for an online. I'm excited about this. So I've been working on this book, and related to the book, I'm basically trying to discern like what are the fundamental distinctions and principles that really. So I have clients as a coach. My function is to be of service to the client, right? So if I have, I don't have at the moment, but let's say I had a Jewish client, he or she would walk out of coaching, being a fuller embodiment of their faith, let's say. So, or of a Christian client. So, I've been looking, all my clients are so different, like what they want to accomplish, their businesses, their personal beliefs. Most of them I would say are like sort of Judeo-Christian worldview, but like they're pretty wide. And I'm like, what are the 4 to 5 key principles and distinctions that really make a difference for people and across the board? So I'm putting together next week, this will probably be after this drops, but I'm going to start to roll these out more frequently. I think I'll, repeat this. I haven't, I don't know when people are going to hear our interview, but I'm doing a free 60 to 90 minute online class about those distinctions and principles. My goal is just to again, like the original thing with giving away coaching, it's also business and altruistic. Like I love it. I love being forced to articulate, like, okay, what is it really? Communicate it. Just hearing these ideas and distinctions, people can grab something and apply.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a percentage of those people are going to be like, hey, what is it like to coach with you? And I'll probably book, a lot of people will just organically reach out to me to schedule a prospective meeting. And then out of those, a percentage of those will become clients.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. And then apart from that, for COVID, I've done a lot of clearing a lot of brush on my property. I built a little pistol shooting range. I don't shoot much, but I have a couple pistols, a little 22 rifle, and it's going to be an archery thing for the kids. So I had my men's group, we came over the other day, and it was fun. I built a little gravel platform, and it's right by our house in kind of the woods and the trees. And so that was a project just to clear brush for like a month and a half. I was,
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll be productive and, just be a pack mule for 2 months, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so rad. You actually posted that on social media. I saw it as kind of the freedom post. Everyone was just shooting guns.
Yeah.
Amazing post. Love it. It looks awesome.
It was fun. I'm a little provocative. I'm sure it prods those who don't like guns or that kind of stuff. I'm sort of prodding people, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I wanted to transition to some fun questions here real quick.
Yeah.
I have these things, they're called pod decks. They're essentially just random questions for us podcasters. And
yes,
some are pretty fun, some are flops. So we'll see. Hopefully we get a good one here. We'll see what this one says. This is a good one. What do you consider your greatest achievement?
Oh, yeah. I would say the first thought I thought was just my family and, having the courage to get married. and then, I'm 45 and, so we got a late start with kids. We had a miscarriage early, and then I went through this indecisive phase and then, but really got clear that we wanted children. So I would say my family, they're my number one, and money comes and goes and conveniences come and go. But I would say while I fall short, my way of being, my time, and the structure, the way we raise our children, prioritize them. And I would say that's so far, they're too young to have screwed up their life. So I can't say, I won't, I'm not culpable, they're God made them, they're God's problem. But I will do my part to nudge them into the world, to be loving, courageous men, so. But I would say my family is the first thing that came to my mind. Like just to, I think this goes unnoticed in the world, like in terms of success, because just an ordinary guy living with reasonable integrity, loving his family, to me is a remarkable, extraordinary thing. I think there was some poet or writer said like something like that, like the the most beautiful, extraordinary thing in the world is an ordinary man and woman raising their children. Like there's something just to get your life in order enough to pull that off reasonably well. It takes so much of you.
Yeah,
So, like,
totally.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any airtime. It's nothing glamorous. But it's tough to be a human and do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, my wife and I, we both came from, crazy broken homes and both of our parents been multiple divorced, and, we just celebrated 15 years of being married this year. And
awesome. Same here. We're going to celebrate 15 this year. That's awesome, Eric.
Okay. Yeah. So it's been a fun journey for sure to kind of break those chains of divorce and addictions and abuse that we grew up with.
Yeah. You shared a snippet of a broader stroke of your background story. It is remarkable. I mean, that's miraculous that where you were and what you're doing. What's a better achievement,
Right. Yeah. It's been fun. Nice transition to the next question. What's the best part about being a dad?
Oh man. Well, I mean, just being, the love in it, like it opens up me to it is revealed to me that there pre-exists, and this is actually a coaching distinction in my online class, so I'll cast it in that light.
Yeah.
I operate from one premise, several premises, but one key premise is that my clients already have within them all the love, courage, and willingness they're seeking to develop. So if you really get the pragmatics of that, like, it's not something people have to go develop and seek. And so like if you're a reasonably loving parent and you're a kid or even a stranger's kid is like about to walk into traffic and you see a truck coming, in an instant, most people would dive to knock that kid out of the way and risk their own life in an instant. Yeah. So it's not already pre-existing in them is like a depth of love. They'd lay down their life, right? Like it's there. And now people's faith and orientation, how they contextualize the source of that, whether that's the presence of Christ in them and like that gives them that. I respect however that occurs to somebody, but the basic thing. So yeah, as a dad, it has opened me up to like a depth of love and willingness. And it also, I think being a dad, I don't think I could grow spiritually as a man or just be a better man having not been a father. And I don't disparage people who aren't parents, because life demands of you growth. So people, I really think whether it's the Holy Spirit or the way life works in people, that life will demand growth. But in my personal life, like the best part about being a father is it's a constant mirror in front of me to examine the kind of man I am and what I'm imparting and who I'm being to them. So it's like a constant pressure container, and then there's always there's a willingness that comes up to shoulder things or move forward or have courage or get over myself and stop beating myself up out of that love. So, and I just love them. I mean, they're a delight. It's a delight. It's just a delight to be with your children. It's just a delight. Like, it's just a delight. I think men and women who love each other, just delight in it. Like, look at them,
Right.
So it's its own reward, So
Yep, absolutely. Now, I know you have a lot of chickens. You have a dog. How many chickens do you have? And do you have any other animals besides the chickens and the dog?
We had like 16, 17 this winter. Now we're down to 7 because
oh my gosh.
Coyotes got some. I got some video of bald eagles getting some.
Right.
Yeah, but we're gonna get some chickens actually from Rathdrum. We're gonna pick some up, baby chicks. So we have chickens. We have a dog, our first little pet. He's going on 12. Beautiful dog.
Wow.
We have one kitty at the moment, so that's our pet life. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Last question for you: what's a favorite type of music or favorite band that you like to listen
to? My favorite music is Arvo Pärt. So it's ARVO PART. I forget, like there's a little, what's his original, Slovenian little thing, but he's the most played living composer of our time. And he innovated this way. It's like he composes symphonies and things, and they're very contemplative and beautiful and exquisitely quiet. And if anybody listens to this, here's my gift to you. Like, if you really want to like dwell in beauty, his Google, the name of the song, it's about 10 minutes. It's I don't know if it's German or it's Spiegel im Spiegel. So that's Spiegel and then IM space IM Spiegel. It's just a violin and like a bit of piano for 10 minutes.
Okay.
And it's so exquisitely beautiful. So I like to listen to things like that put me into a peaceful place and stuff. And then I like, good things with a good beat,
Yeah.
I was born in 74. I'm a fan of late 70s, early 80s music.
Okay. Yep. Right on.
Sunny day in your car kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. Matt, such an honor to have you on my show, man. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, you're awesome, man. Thank you. Appreciate
I love what you got going on, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Way to jam on this, so congrats.
Hey, thanks for watching the show today. I really appreciate it. Hey, if this show moved you or made an impact on you or inspired or motivated you, that's my goal. Please go leave us a review and a rating wherever you heard or watched this show. Leave a comment. I'll respond to all of the comments. I'm so grateful for you. Please go share this video as well. Thank you again for your time. Have a great day.